Imagine two things you enjoy. Great individually, but put them together and you get something quite special. Strawberries and cream, egg and bacon, yawning and scratching, Johnson and Johnson, Charles and Camilla. But what about drugs and sex? This is Chem Sex. Chem Sex is a compound word. Chem derived from the word chemical, and sex from the word sex or sexiness. Confined largely to the gay community, it emerged around the year 2010. A time of unrestrained glee as a nation dared to believe the nightmare of a Labour government could soon be over. And as revellers lost their minds to the sound of Keane and the Black Eyed Beans, little wonder that the hedonism spilled over into sex and drugs. The primary drugs involved in chemsex are crystal meth, GHB, ketamine and mephedrone, a dose of which, under controlled conditions, I was about to take myself under the watchful eye of pharmacist Dr. Raj Prasan. Now, do you say MCAT or meow meow?
I say mephedrone, its chemical name.
Right. I like to say meow meow. You're going to administer this drug under controlled circumstances, and then I'm going to gauge its effects.
You're going to play guinea pig?
Right. That wasn't explained to me. I've never played that.
I mean, in terms of the experiment.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought it was some sort of gay sex game. Yeah. I'm not sure a man can squeal like a guinea pig, can he?
I'm just a pharmacist.
Right, yeah, because you're the chem of the Chem Sex, yeah. So Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you're the Dr. Chem, and Mr. Sex, we've yet to meet.
I'm just a pharmacist.
You said that. So, you give us the drugs. Well, it's 30 minutes later, and I don't feel especially different. Certainly the thought of grinding myself against a stranger in a Holiday Inn is far from my thoughts. Yeah. Well, it's over an hour later. I've been told that one eyelid has drooped. I don't feel that much different. Am I in the mood for dancing? Absolutely. Do I feel sexy? Barely. Although I do have the sensation of wanting someone else to brush my hair. It's said the experiment replicates exactly the sensation of recreational drug use. Although instead of being surrounded by revellers, chewing gum and asking if you're having a good time, my only companion was a bearded doctor drinking coffee and reading a magazine. Well, the effects have completely worn off. My main recollection is an overwhelming desire to put on my comfy pajamas and watch Tarzan. Is that sexy? I've no idea. But it was a very new feeling, and it was a very real feeling. Quiz. One of these people spent World War II sewing uniforms, the other flying Spitfires. So, which was which? The answer will surprise you. The seamstress? This man, who got into sewing rather than fighting because he was severely mollycoddled by his mother, and sadly, the poor chap ended up as a softie. The Spitfire pilot? A woman, Eleanor Hartley, who defied convention to help transport military aircraft to wherever it was needed. Because it's an irrefutable fact that without the role played by women in almost every sphere in both civil and military life, the Second World War would have been slightly harder to win. Today, Eleanor is 94 and has very kindly agreed to join us here at Goodwood Aerodrome to return to the wonderful machines that she once flew. Eleanor, thank you so much for joining us.
It's lovely to be here.
A wonderful, wonderful woman to whom we all owe an enormous debt of gratitude. In the end, though, her interview was largely unusable.
Heavy frost this morning.
To learn more, I spoke to a man much better versed in Spitfire history. Good morning. My name's Alan.
Roger.
And your name?
Roger.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were agreeing with me.
No, just telling you my name.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, I'm Alan Partridge.
Roger that.
Right. And your full name?
That.
Is your name, don't say anything, is your name Roger That? It turns out the airman, a bit of a character with a love of wordplay, is actually called Paul Wheeler. But he pretends to be called Roger That to bamboozle new trainees. He has also appeared on Countdown. I really didn't do jokes like that because I'm a journalist. Now, Eleanor here, one of the few people left alive who understands what it was like to fly the Spitfire and carry that huge responsibility. What was it like, do you think, for people like Eleanor to carry such huge responsibility?
Well, I don't think anyone was in any doubt as to how integral Spitfire was to the war effort.
I suppose the only way to truly understand the sacrifice made by Eleanor and people like her is for me to put myself in their shoes.
So if the plane gets into trouble, there's no ejector seat, so you'll have to bail out.
Why would the plane get into trouble?
And we just have to give you the bailout procedure.
Okay.
So if the pilot says jump, 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 you lower the seat, you unlatch the canopy, you unplug the radio, open the door, jump away from the plane, and deploy your parachute by pulling the D-ring.
D-ream?
No, D-ring.
Yes, of course.
Now, if you land in water...
Oh, hang on.
Say it again.
Yes, again.
Lower the seat, unlatch the canopy, unplug the radio.
Why not
open the
do
door.
that bit?
Well, you need to do that bit, otherwise you'll be tethered to the plane and pulled down to Earth with it.
Okay, I'll definitely do that then. I'll just asterisk the important ones.
Well, they were all important.
Yeah, I'll asterisk all of them then. And after a handful of toilet trips, which I'm told is perfectly normal, it was time to spread my wings like the arms of a bird and take off. Does this say latch or cat?
Can't look right now, sorry.
Can you radio and ask someone?
Not right now.
Okay, but soon. I was quickly lost in admiration for this plucky little aeroplane, and it was a privilege to climb heavenwards until I was touching the face of God with the very tip of my nose. Spin me again, please. I didn't like it before, but I do like it now, so spin me again, please. Up here, you can be proud to be British, and no left-wing people can tut at you. No one to admonish you for having a certain point of view. No one accusing you of culturally appropriating a Moroccan because you're wearing a fez, even when you'd only gone as Tommy Cooper. Sometimes wonder why we bothered winning the war. London, the year 2023, and leather-clad renegade Nero Costa is on the run. With the police now able to detect wrongdoing before it's happened by accessing our brains over Wi-Fi for signs of thought crime, police are able to apprehend so-called plea criminals without trial. My character, Nero Costa, is wanted for the murder of a politician he is yet to even meet. Viva la revolution! The stuff there of some dystopian sci-fi movie, currently seeking seed finance and a distributor. In real life, though, with the thought police confined to the Guardian's comment pages, we rely on mass imprisonment to curb crime. But some criminal justice campaigners even take issue with that. Why? Well, in 1971, researchers at Stanford University conducted a prison experiment in which volunteers were given roles as inmates or guards. Within days, the guards had become sadistic and cruel, the prisoners servile and weak, a power dynamic familiar to anyone who stayed with their wife's parents at Christmas. I have personal experience of the kind of damage the Stanford experiment can cause. In 2004, I'm ashamed to say that I took part in a Channel 4 rehash named Loose Screws. If you ever want to see your kids again, you better start showing some respect! Right, who's next? The series was never broadcast. Where's Vernon? Academics pour scorn on our prisons from the comfort of their leather big chairs. But how many have ever been in a prison? None. Whereas I've come to sample a bit of porridge firsthand. Not the kind I have for breakfast. Organic oats, linseed, sliced nana, all washed down with piping hot coffee and my tablets. But it's Alan Partridge, I've got permission. But the kind of porridge served at Her Majesty's pleasure, with the only piping hot coffee, is the hot coffee thrown in your face by a troubled teenager with a rubbish dad. That's right, Borstal. Tissue, item, semi-used, access key insignia with leather toggle. Chicken shop wet wipes, 5 units. I didn't want to go to a men's prison, but seeing as the women's prison didn't get back to me, I would be incarcerated here in a youth offenders institute. For the homeless.
And the gloves?
Why? To kick off, I spent what seemed like an hour with prison governor Maurice Pelt.
It's about carrots and stick, isn't it? Although you can hit people with a carrot.
He said the boys nicknamed him Strangeways because he used to work there, but I'll let you be the judge.
When these young lads walk through these doors and become inmates, I stand them where you are now, and I say, what?
You blew it, kid.
I say, forget what might have been. 3 words, Alan. 3 words that are banned in my office. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Should have done this, should have done that. You didn't. Could have done this, could have done that. You didn't. Would have done this, would have done that.
You didn't.
No, you didn't.
I liked Maurice. His inspirational shtick could be a little preachy, honed by Sunday mornings spent as a Christian minister. But if he thinks we have a soul inside us, like some sort of holy spleen, where's the harm in that?
Because you know what the prize is, huh? It's the future. What's the prize?
The future.
Wrong, no. Not the future, a future.
There's a boy's eye.
Because changing direction is a choice. But whose choice?
Mine. It slowly dawned on me Maurice was asking questions he knew he and I both knew the answers to, which felt like cheating. Then again, although a bit simplistic for the likes of me,
Where is it?
behind you. It was perfect for daft lads. Less morning has broken, more morning has soaken. Since every morning I have soaken or soaked my bed with perspiration. For this is the night sweats. This is the amount of sweat squeezed from the pillow of an ordinary sleeper. It's empty. This is the amount of sweat squeezed from my sheets after they were passed through a mangle. For I have the night sweats. But it's not just sweat I'm lying in. It's shame. I'm tired of waking up twizzled in damp duvet. Something needs to change. Yay. So, I've come to the blandly named West Sussex Sleep Clinic. After filling in a needlessly detailed questionnaire, it was time for Jim Jams and watery squash. These are my co-sleepers. Hi, Janet. They are amongst the worst sleepers in Britain. They are absolutely hopeless at it. But the chinwag over a glass of squash reminds us that we're not suffering alone. But our collective lack of sleep has rendered us all pretty irritable. Malcolm there in the green sweater thinks he's the bee's knees when he's not. Janet seems to think we want to know all about her. And Paul, Stripey Paul, is sad because he's got a dead dog. I'm going to make my excuses before someone gets chinned. Back in my room, with my head sporting more cables and lights than my assistant's modem, I was ready. And so to sleep, perchance to sweat. Fascinating stuff, and I'm joined by the clinic's sleep disorder consultant, Dr. Susan Lyle. Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
You took a peep at my sleep. What did you reap?
Okay, so yes, reviewing that night, so we can see that you were really quite restless, yeah, and quite fidgety here as well, but that's really very common, especially with light sleepers. It's really the brain's reluctance to enter into sleep mode.
Busy.
But it's also a sign of stress and anxiety as well, which we know can be a key cause of heavy nighttime perspiration.
I'm just going to spool on.
There's a moment coming up here which is something I think you should see, because what happens round about 1:30 is you enter something called stage 4 of NREM, and it seems that the cause of your night sweats is actually a different condition.
What?
I think what we're seeing here is parvor nocturnus, or night terrors.
Oh my God. The last time my legs flailed like that was in a tent during an altercation with what I can only describe as a very big bee.
So what sort of thing do you have nightmares about? What scares you? So you've not been involved in anything traumatic or upsetting?
I recently abseiled down the side of the Shard for charity.
What? When?
Or was that a dream? I was doing it for the RSPCA, so yeah,
It
so yeah,
must have been a dream. Must have been a dream. It's very disturbing.
Don't want to talk about him anymore. Tell me about you. You work at the clinic where I went, but I didn't see you.
Oh, no, but I could see you on the monitor.
Ah.
Well, I've worked there for 12 years, so yes, I've watched thousands of people sleeping.
Right, and do you enjoy it?
Yes, I love it. It's very rewarding.
Right, why?
Well, something about observing patients as they sleep. I feel like I'm a guardian angel, watching over them, protecting them.
But how are you protecting them?
Well, in that they're in my charge, so I could harm them, but I choose not to. So I suppose in that regard, I'm protecting them from the darker side of human nature that is within us all.
Susan, great having you on the show. I don't have any more questions. Simon, do you?
No.
Good. I'm going to let you go.
I'm happy to talk
Nah.
more. You don't want me to stay for the phone?
Nah. Instead, let's talk to viewers and ask, what do you dream about? The lines are open, so tell us what you ponder in the land of Nod.